Chapter 91 Clearance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After waiting for a day, Xiaofei started his own challenge. For Xiaofei now, challenging the 7 sacred pillars is not difficult. Whether it is the thickness of soul power, mental strength, or physical strength, it exceeds that of ordinary title Douluo. The first challenger is Seahorse Douluo. Seahorse Douluo is the only 7 sacred pillars that the 7 people have contacted now, and is also the background board of the sea god island that appears the most but is the most miserable in the original work. Xiaofei directly summoned his martial soul, the fire phoenix, and 8 soul rings appeared on his body at the same time, purple, black, black, red, red. The 8 soul rings shocked everyone, especially the 3 red soul rings. Xiaofei instantly completed the whole body phoenix transformation, and then rushed to Seahorse Douluo quickly. Seahorse Douluo seemed to know how powerful Xiaofei was, and directly used the martial soul true body and turned into a huge seahorse. Xiaofei directly launched the 5th soul skill, Phoenix Heaven Shaking Strike. Transformed into a fire phoenix, it bombarded the giant seahorse. Seahorse Douluo's martial soul body was immediately shaky. Xiaofei was not relenting and launched the 3rd soul skill, Phoenix Flame Claw, attacking Seahorse Douluo's martial soul body again. This attack directly shattered Seahorse Douluo's martial soul body, and Seahorse Douluo himself spit out a mouthful of blood. Seahorse Douluo's whole face was a little pale. After all, Seahorse Douluo was a titled Douluo and was ready to fight again. But Seahorse Douluo suddenly felt dizzy and his expression became a little trance. When Seahorse Douluo recovered, Xiaofei's pair of steel claws were already on Seahorse Douluo's neck. Looking at the steel claws on his neck and Xiaofei, who had hardly exerted any effort, Seahorse Douluo shook his head helplessly and admitted defeat. Seahorse Douluo didn't even expect that he would be defeated by Wang Xiaofei so easily. Xiaofei took back his martial soul and steel claws and thanked Seahorse Douluo. After a half-hour break, Xiaofei started the 2nd level. The second opponent was Sea Witch Douluo. Xiaofei came to the Sea Witch Holy Pillar and saw a girl sitting there. She had a huge fish tail with a beautiful arc extending all the way to her waist. She was wearing a black top that didn't even cover her belly button. She had a pair of big sky blue eyes. Xiaofei couldn't help but think of the legendary mermaid. The Sea Witch Douluo's martial soul is the sea magic flute, with a soul power level of 92. At this stage, Xiaofei is least afraid of the attacks of spiritual soul masters. Now Xiaofei's spiritual power has reached the realm of the extreme Douluo. The assessment of this level is very simple. Xiaofei listened to a song of the Sea Witch there. I saw the black magic flute horizontally in front of the Sea Witch Douluo's chest, and the black 7th soul ring suddenly flashed. It was the true body of the weapon soul. A huge sea magic flute appeared in the air, and behind it was a huge Sea Witch phantom holding the sea magic flute. The 9th soul skill of the Sea Witch, the Sea-Suppressing Divine Song, is a super-large-scale attack skill. With the attack of the flute sound, the listener could not have any idea of resistance and died in the flute sound. This was the first high-level soul master Xiaofei had seen who used sound wave attack, but Xiaofei sat there motionless, with only a little light appearing between his eyebrows. The sound wave came in, and the red dragonfly shook the pillar. After a song, Xiaofei left leisurely, and the Sea Witch did not stop him. Obviously Xiaofei had passed the level. The 3rd level was Haihuan Douluo, with a soul power of level 92. His martial soul was an extremely magical and rare sea soul beast named Illusion Snake, which was between the beast martial soul and the weapon martial soul. After Haihuan Douluo summoned the martial soul, what appeared on his body was not the situation of possession, but floating on the surface of his body. Haihuan Douluo was not only proficient in illusion, but also had good physical attack. Facing Haihuan Douluo's attack, Xiaofei directly transformed into a beast, turned into a fire phoenix, and was covered with powerful phoenix flames. The martial soul between the semi-illusion was directly burned into nothingness. The illusion attack was ineffective against Xiaofei, and Xiaofei won easily in the end. The 4th level is Starfish Douluo, with soul power level 92 and martial soul Starfish. On the Starfish Holy Pillar, Xiaofei looked at the long hair of Starfish in surprise. What was terrifying was that his long hair was scattered all the way to the ground, and it looked like it was about 3 meters long. after Starfish Douluo summoned his martial soul, he turned into a huge starfish with 5 very long tentacles and suction cups on the tentacles, which could obviously absorb the opponent's soul power and vitality, but Xiaofei's martial soul was the fire phoenix, which had a very strong phoenix flame, and the phoenix flame had a great restraining effect on water. Based Soul Masters. Starfish Douluo's tentacles could not touch Xiaofei, let alone absorb Xiaofei's soul power. In less than half an hour, Starfish Douluo was defeated. The 5th level was Sea Ghost Douluo, whose soul was a sea ghost fish, with a soul power level of 93. His skills were to use poison and range attacks, like a sea version of Poison Douluo. Unfortunately, Xiaofei had already practiced ice and fire to refine his body and was immune to all poisons. After his main ability of using poison was restricted, Sea Ghost Douluo was defeated in just 10 minutes. The 6th level is Sea Spear Douluo, whose martial soul is a golden spear with a golden body, named Sea Spear. He was blessed by the Sea God and became a rare weapon martial soul master among Sea Soul Masters. Sea Spear Douluo's golden spear martial soul not only has amazing defense, but also has infinite power in the state of weapon soul true body. It is simply an alternative version of the soul-breaking spear, and it is more defensive. Sea Spear Douluo's attack power is estimated to be similar to Yang Wudi, but Xiaofei has far exceeded his combat power when he first came to Sea God Island, and defeated Sea Spear Douluo in less than half an hour. The 7th level is Sea Dragon Douluo, which is also the last level. He is the strongest person in Sea God Island except Poseidon. A level 95 title Douluo, his martial soul is Sea Dragon, which can be called one of the strongest beast martial souls. His strength is second only to Sea God Douluo Poseidon in Sea God Island. When Xiaofei came to the Sea Dragon sacred pillar, he saw Sea Dragon Douluo naked from the waist up. He was over 2 meters tall, and his entire body was like an inverted triangle. His shoulders were broad, and his back muscles were like granite. Obviously, Sea Dragon Douluo's physical strength is very strong. Sea Dragon Douluo is also the strongest person Xiaofei has fought so far, even stronger than the evil killer Whale King. For this battle, Xiaofei rested for an hour and adjusted his body to optimal condition. Xiaofei wants to try his true strength. Sea Dragon Douluo, who was sitting under the 7 sacred pillars, was recuperating with his eyes closed, obviously also recharging his energy. After Xiaofei arrived at the square, Sea Dragon Douluo opened his eyes. Wang Xiaofei, the 9th red level examinee, judging from your victory over the 6th title Douluo in front of you, you are very powerful in terms of martial spirit, mental power, and physical strength. And from beginning to end, you didn't use your full strength, and no one even knew how much strength you used. Xiaofei said politely, Senior, please give me some advice. Sea Dragon Douluo was instantly possessed by his martial spirit. His hands were like sharp dragon claws, and his arms were covered with dragon scales. Xiaofei grabbed it with both hands, and Xiaofei immediately transformed into a phoenix, facing Sea Dragon Douluo's claws. As soon as their bodies touched, Xiaofei took half a step back, while Sea Dragon Douluo took 3 steps back. It was obvious that there was a big gap in strength between the two. However, Sea Dragon Douluo seemed to be even more excited. Next, the two kept bumping back and forth. Sea Dragon Douluo relies on the geographical environment of sea water to fight. Obviously, Sea Dragon Douluo's strength will be greatly enhanced in the sea, while Xiaofei uses the flames of the fire phoenix spirit to restrain Sea Dragon Douluo. The two also released many soul skills, but Xiaofei only released the first 5 soul skills from beginning to end, and did not release more powerful soul bone skills, nor did he use external soul bones. Sea Dragon Douluo, on the other hand, tried his best, but still couldn't do anything to Xiaofei. After 3 hours of hard fighting, both of them had many wounds on their bodies. Xiaofei released the Killing God domain many times, but were all destroyed by Sea Dragon Douluo's demon-breaking domain. In the last move, Sea Dragon Douluo's physical strength and soul power were no longer too much. The two released their martial soul avatars at the same time, and a huge sea dragon and a huge fire phoenix collided with each other. In the end, Sea Dragon Douluo lay on the ground exhausted, with many hideous wounds visible to the bone. Xiaofei was sitting next to him, obviously spending a lot of money. obviously, this battle has a greater training effect on Xiaofei than passing the assessment. Xiaofei has a deeper understanding of both the application of soul skills and the application of fields. Only the strong fight can make themselves stronger. At this point, Xiaofei passed the 5th of the 9 red level exams. Chapter 92 Battle. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Looking at the seriously injured Sea Dragon Douluo, the other 6 people of the 7 saints came to support Sea Dragon Douluo, while Huowu and others came to support Xiaofei. Sea Dragon Douluo gradually woke up and said to Xiaofei with a fighting spirit, "Wang Xiaofei, I will challenge you again. I hope you will do your best next time." Sea Dragon Douluo fought with Xiaofei for 3 hours, so he naturally knew Xiaofei's approximate strength. Xiaofei didn't even use the Soul Bone skills and the 100,000-year Soul Ring skills, so he naturally knew Xiaofei's purpose. And this is what Sea Dragon Douluo pursues. At this time, a voice came into Xiaofei's mind, "Wang Xiaofei, the 5th test of the Red Level 9 tests, challenge the Guardian Pillar, complete it, and reward all soul rings to increase the age by 3,000 years. Xiaofei was a little speechless. He didn't even improve his soul power level. Isn't this sea god a bit too stingy? Huowu, Huowushuang and Feng Xiaotian increased their soul power by 1 level, and Huowu also had 500 years of soul ring age increase. At this point, Huowu and Huowushuang's soul power is level 87, and Feng Xiaotian's soul power is level 85. At the same time, the mark between everyone's eyebrows flashed, and the question of the 6th test of the Sea God Island has turned into a card and is in everyone's hands. Xiaofei saw his card and was speechless. Red Level 9 tests, the 6th test. Led Huowu, Huowushuang, Feng Xiaotian, and Shui Binger to fight against the 7 holy pillars of the Sea God Island, and persist for 1 hour. The time limit is 1 year. This sea god seemed to look down on Xiaofei and his people. Shui Binger? How could there be Shui Binger? Could it be? Suddenly, a shocking blue light came from the Sea God Island temple. At this time, on the Sea God Island, on the stairs of the Sea God's light, Shui Binger had collapsed to the ground, and just now, the level. After 3 years of continuous efforts, he finally completed the content of the first test of the Sea God's 9 tests and crossed the 333rd step, and Shui Binger's reward is to increase the affinity of the Sea God by 5% and reward a God-given soul ring. The content of Shui Binger's second test of the Sea God 9 tests was to fight against the 7 sacred pillars of Sea God Island with Xiaofei and the other 4 people, and the duration was 1 hour, due to the injury of Sea Dragon Douluo. The 6th test of Sea God Island will not be conducted until at least 1 week later. Looking at the blue light in the sky, Xiaofei and the other 6 people quickly came to the location of the Sea God light. Shui Binger was seen lying on the steps, sweating all over her body. Obviously, the climb just now had exhausted her soul power. Huowu hurried over to help Shui Binger up, and Poseidon, who had not been seen for a while, also came here, obviously to give Shui Binger a divine soul ring. After Shui Binger rested for an hour, she began to absorb the divine soul ring. In the end, Shui Binger's 8th ring reached about 90,000 years. Shui Binger's soul power level reached level 82. In the following period of time, Xiaofei kept explaining to the other 4 people the combat characteristics of each title Douluo of the 7 sacred pillars of Sea God Island, including some measures that the 7 sacred pillars might take and the corresponding plans of Xiaofei and others. A month later, Xiaofei and his 5 companions formally proposed the assessment requirements to Poseidon. Under the personal supervision of Poseidon, the battle was held under the Sea Dragon Holy Pillar in Sea Dragon City. Xiaofei was in the front of the 5 companions, Huowu and Shui Binger were in the middle, Feng Xiaotian and Huowushuang protected the 2 beauties on both sides. The 7 holy pillars of Poseidon Island were led by Sea Dragon Douluo and Sea Spear Douluo, Sea Witch Douluo, Sea Illusion Douluo and Sea Star Douluo were in the middle, and Sea Horse Douluo and Sea Ghost Douluo were on both sides. Obviously, the 7 holy pillars were going to attack and control by force. After all, the assessment required them to win in 1 hour, and Xiaofei and his 5 companions only needed to persist for 1 hour without defeat. With Poseidon's order, both sides had 1 minute to summon their martial spirits. 1 minute later, the challenge officially began, and Poseidon also took out a 1-hour timer and placed it in the air. All 12 people on the field summoned their martial spirits and began to prepare for the battle. When the 1-minute time was up, the challenge officially began. The sea dragon Douluo and the 7 columns attacked Wang Xiaofei, the sea ghost Douluo attacked Wuwushwang, the sea horse Douluo attacked Feng Xiaotian, and the sea witch Douluo used the sea magic flute to control the entire field, while the rest of the personnel besieged Huowu and Shui Binger. Obviously, they intended to divide the battlefield, and then concentrate the superior personnel to eliminate Xiaofei and the other 5. The sea witch Douluo directly launched the 9th soul skill, Zhenhai Divine Song. Zhenhai Divine Song is a group attack sound wave soul skill, which is almost impossible to solve. In an instant, except for Xiaofei, the other 4 people received great mental damage, especially Shui Binger and Feng Xiaotian, who did not have head soul bones. Xiaofei did not say anything and directly launched a mental attack on the head soul bone of the sea witch Douluo, which immediately interrupted the 9th soul skill of the sea witch Douluo. The sea witch Douluo seemed to be injured. Shui Binger took the opportunity to launch the 4th soul skill, Absolute Ice Prison, and instantly trapped everyone in the ice. Speaking of restraining sea soul masters, Shui Binger's Ice Phoenix is definitely the best at restraining sea soul masters. Under Shui Binger's soul skills, the water of sea soul masters can instantly turn into ice. Xiaofei and his companions were waiting for this moment. At this moment, Xiaofei used all his martial soul bodies. Xiaofei directly launched his 8th soul skill, Phoenix Light, to attack the entire field. In fact, no one could interrupt Xiaofei's 8th soul skill. Sea Dragon Douluo and Sea Spear Douluo directly opened their martial soul bodies, turning into a huge sea dragon and a huge sea spear respectively to meet Xiaofei's Phoenix Light. If the 2 of them did not block this move, the people behind them would be in danger. The other 5 also opened their martial soul bodies. Of course, if they did not use their full strength now, it would be very troublesome. To the surprise of Sea Dragon Douluo and Sea Demon Douluo, their martial souls quickly dissolved and dissipated under the light of the phoenix, as if they were in flames. Obviously, Xiaofei's 8th soul skill was far more powerful than they expected. At the moment when Sea Dragon Douluo and Sea Spear Douluo blocked Xiaofei's 8th soul skill, the other 5 people all flew up and scattered to avoid Xiaofei's 8th soul skill. However, in the air, it was Xiaofei's home court. Xiaofei, Feng Xiaotian and Shui Binger's martial souls can all fly. In the air, both speed and flexibility are better than the 7 people of the 7 Saint Pillars. Huowu and Huowushuang also launched their 8th soul skills at the same time. One of Huowu's 8th soul skills is fire shadows all over the sky. Countless fire shadows appear in the sky, each with very high attack power. One of Huowushuang's 8th soul skills is Tyrannosaurus Fury, a one-horned fire Tyrannosaurus as big as a mountain, rushing forward with its horn, breaking everything. Obviously, Xiaofei and his 2 companions did not want to hold out for an hour, but wanted to defeat their opponents. Shui Binger and Feng Xiangtian also instantly activated their 8th soul skills. Shui Binger's 8th soul skill is Eternal Freeze. A huge white light flew towards the 7 people of the 7 sacred pillars. Obviously, Shui Binger's move is a bit like the ultimate ice. Both the freezing effect and the damage are very powerful. Feng Xiaotian's 8th soul skill is also the Demon Wolf Tiger Whale Slash, which flies out countless slashes, with extremely fast speed, extremely strong attack, and strong wind attributes. Facing the strongest soul skills of the 5 people, the 7 sacred pillars of Poseidon Island looked very embarrassed, and each of them was seriously injured. Enough, you have passed. Poseidon's voice spread throughout the venue, and the soul skills of Xiaofei and his 7 companions seemed to be affected to a certain extent. A huge phantom of the Poseidon blocked the soul skills of Xiaofei and his companions. Xiaofei and his 5 companions stopped releasing their soul skills at the same time and released their martial soul true bodies, returning to the ground. The 7 people of the 7 sacred pillars were all injured and returned to Poseidon. Xiaofei couldn't help but mutter in his heart, did Poseidon have the strength of an extreme Douluo or the power of the god of the sea? Chapter 93 Shui Binger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After returning to the ground, the 7 members of the 7 sacred pillars of Poseidon knelt on one knee in front of Bo Saishi. I'm sorry, great worshipper, we have let you down. Bo Saishi said calmly, it doesn't matter, the tactics of the 5 of them are very good, and the quality of their soul rings exceeds yours, so your failure is reasonable. Xiaofei and others stepped forward and saluted Bo Saishi, Hai Long Do Ren and Douluo, thank you to the 7 lords of the Holy Pillar for your guidance. The 7 sea dragon Douluo nodded slightly, but they kept complaining in their hearts, how can 5-soul Douluo challenge 7-title Douluo like this? He actually used his moves amplified from the very beginning, without even testing them. This is so disrespectful of martial ethics. A voice came from Xiaofei's mind, Wang Xiaofei, the 6th of the 9 red level exams, led Huo Wushuang, Feng Xiaotian, and Shui Binger to challenge the 7 sacred pillars of Poseidon Island. He exceeded the exam limit and was rewarded with all soul ring years. 5,000 years of improvement. Huo Wu and others also received reminders to complete the assessment. Feng Xiaotian and Huo Wushuang increased their soul power by 1 level, and Huo Wu increased their soul power by 1 level, plus an additional 1,000 years of soul ring life. Shui Binger increases Poseidon's affinity by 10%, plus a level of soul power. Sure enough, Huo Wushuang and Feng Xiaotian did not have the protagonist halo, and they did not receive additional soul power enhancements and God-given soul rings after completing all assessments. At this point, Xiaofei and others have completed the 6th test of the Poseidon Island assessment. Among them, Huo Wushuang and Feng Xiaotian have completed all assessments and obtained black-level permissions on Poseidon Island. Huo Wu and Wang Xiaofei obtained red-level permissions on Poseidon Island. Xiaofei feels a little strange, why haven't all the assessments been completed? Got red-level permission. Xiaofei's soul power is level 90, 92, and his soul ring is black, 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 red, and red. Huo Wu's soul power level is level 88, and her soul ring is purple, 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 black, black, and red. Shui Binger's soul power level is level 83, and her affinity with Poseidon is 15%. Huo Wushuang's soul power is level 88, Feng Xiaotian's soul power is level 86, Yang Pejuan is level 74, and Niu Meng is level 75. Suddenly, the red Poseidon Island assessment mark on Xiaofei's forehead flashed, and an assessment card appeared in Xiaofei's hand. Wang Xiaofei, the 7th of the 9 Poseidon Island red-level exams, looking for the Vulcan inheritance site. Time limit, no. After completing the assessment, you can return to Poseidon Island to resume the red level 9 level assessment. Tips, Ultimate. Following this, the red level 9 level examination mark disappeared. Huo Wu's assessment is similar to Xiaofei's. He helped Xiaofei find the Vulcan inheritance place, and the assessment mark between his eyebrows disappears. Shui Binger's test is more interesting. It also helps Xiaofei find the Fire God inheritance place. However, the time limit is 10 years. If he fails, his soul power will be deducted by 5 levels. Regardless of failure or success, he can continue to take the Poseidon 9th test. Xiaofei looked at the assessment content carefully. Shui Binger was already the heir of Poseidon, so he still wanted to find some Vulcan inheritance place with him. Isn't it a waste of time? And why 10 years? Xiaofei suddenly frowned and understood Poseidon's purpose. Poseidon was probably betting that Tang San could become the new Poseidon. If Tang San succeeded, Shui Binger's 9 Poseidon tests would naturally be meaningless. If Tang San failed, Shui Binger would continue taking the tests. There is nothing to lose anyway. Obviously, Poseidon was more optimistic about Tang San. As expected of the protagonist of the original work, Xiaofei is still so talented even though he has intercepted many opportunities. Xiaofei always feels that something is wrong. Why can Shui Binger continue to take exams no matter whether she fails or succeeds? As a god, his words are oracles. If Tang San becomes a god, what is the significance of Shui Binger's test? Is there a hidden meaning to all this? As for the reminder about the Vulcan inheritance place, Xiaofei has no clue for the time being, so he will ignore it for now and talk about it when he goes back. God Realm, Poseidon Temple. Poseidon and Vulcan were together again, but this time they drank wine instead of tea. Vulcan looked at Poseidon a little strangely. Poseidon, do you have so much confidence in that inheritor Tang-san? Poseidon smiled, isn't this a question of confidence? Shui Binger is still far behind Tang-san in terms of talent and experience. Looking for your inheritance is also a kind of exercise. Instead of staying on Poseidon Island and training hard, it's better to go out and get more life experience, otherwise she won't be able to pass the 9th Poseidon test, and there might be other surprises. Vulcan nodded, you are quite good to this little girl. I really like this little girl's character, but it's a pity that she's still a little lacking. But you, just give me a 2-word hint. Can that kid find the fire temple? I can't help it. The fire temple has disappeared on the Douluo Continent for more than 100,000 years. There are basically no clues about the fire temple on the Douluo Continent. Unlike you, there is an inheritance on Poseidon Island. And I don't know about it recently. Why, God Shura seems to be staring at me, saying these 2 words is already a violation of the rules of the divine world. Suddenly a red light flashed, and God Shura appeared in the Poseidon temple. Recently I heard that someone violated the rules of the god realm. I came here specially to have a look. Poseidon and fire god, can't they be you too? The sudden appearance of God Shura scared Vulcan to the point where he almost vomited in Poseidon's face. God Shura, god of fire, and I just drank some wine together. This shouldn't be considered a violation of the rules of the god realm. Poseidon said quickly. God Shura looked serious. Of course this is not against the rules of the divine world, but I heard that you have found 2 good prospects recently. Do you want me to help you evaluate them? I just saw 2 good young men who are more suitable to serve as subordinates. I won't trouble Lord Shura God for this little matter. Poseidon said quickly, but kept muttering in his heart, let you do the assessment, even if these 2 inheritors are not dead also disabled. In that case, I won't ask any more questions, but you must remember the rules of the god realm. A flash of red light, and the god of Shura left. The god of the sea and the god of fire looked at each other and said nothing, just continued to drink. On the Douluo Continent Sea God Island, Xiaofei and his 7 companions were ready to leave the Sea God Island. Originally, Huo Wushuang, Feng Xiaotian, Ong Pajuan and Niu Meng, who were participating in the Black Level assessment, were not allowed to leave the Sea God Island. However, as companions of the Red Level 9 test and the Sea God 9 test assessors, it was allowed to accompany the assessors to continue to participate in the assessment. So several people were not restricted and followed Xiaofei and Shui Binger to leave, and even Poseidon agreed. Xiaofei and his 7 companions came to the beach and summoned Xiao Bai with barbecue. Through Xiao Bai, they learned that a fleet would deliver supplies to the Sea God Island in the next few days, and then they could follow the fleet to leave the Sea God Island. Next was barbecue time. Everyone was no longer under the pressure of the assessment, and their mentality was very relaxed. Moreover, this time they left the Sea God Island and estimated that they would not come back for a long time. For Xiaofei and his 7 companions, Xiao Bai has helped them a lot in the past few years. He is their teacher who taught them how to fight in the sea, and also their partner who had fought together. Before leaving, it was both a thank you and a farewell. During this barbecue, Xiaofei and his companions took out dozens of jars of wine. Everyone drank and chatted excitedly. When they were excited, Shui Binger even danced for everyone. Everyone also tacitly did not use soul power to resist the alcohol. Until the whole beach was messy and there were wine jars everywhere. Everyone was drunk. The next day, when the sun was shining on the beach, Xiaofei woke up drowsily. In a daze, he was holding someone in his arms. He thought it was Huo Wu, but when he glanced at it, it turned out to be a blue dress. Xiaofei woke up instantly. Xiaofei actually slept with Shui Binger in his arms last night. It seemed that because of Xiaofei's actions, Shui Binger in his arms also woke up slowly. However, when Shui Binger saw that she was in Xiaofei's arms, her face suddenly turned red, and she quickly pushed Xiaofei away. Xiaofei looked at Shui Binger, who ran away with a blushing face, and felt annoyed. I was so comfortable when I hugged her just now, why did I wake up so soon? What a great opportunity was wasted. Thinking back to the feeling of hugging Shui Binger just now, she was soft and tender, worthy of being a girl from Tianshui. Xiaofei looked around, and Xiaobai had obviously returned to the sea a long time ago. Others were lying on the beach in all directions, especially Huowu, who was sleeping in a big letter shape, with no image at all. Xiaofei shook his head, first carried Huowu back to the tent, and then woke everyone up. Xiaofei couldn't help but sigh in his heart, they are both beauties, why is the feeling of hugging them so different? Chapter 94 The Current Situation of Douluo Continent. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 3 days later, a fleet came to Poseidon Island to deliver supplies. Due to Xiaofei and others' black level and red level permissions on Poseidon Island, the fleet respected Xiaofei and his 7 companions very much, so Xiaofei and his 7 companions were respectfully invited to board the ship. As the fleet set sail, the 7 people looked at the gradually moving Poseidon Island, and they were all full of emotion. From the time they landed on Poseidon Island to now, it has been less than 4 years, and the strength of several people has undergone tremendous changes. Whether it is soul power, combat ability, or physical strength, they have greatly improved. Yang Pejuan has been upgraded from level 52 at the beginning to level 74 now, and his soul power has increased by 22 levels. The soul ring is yellow, purple, purple, black, black, black. In addition, a soul bone of the right arm of the 30,000-year-old evil killer whale, Nyomang has been upgraded from level 52 to level 75, and his soul power has increased by 23 levels. The soul ring is purple, 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 black, black. In addition, a soul bone of the left leg of the 30,000-year-old evil killer whale, Feng Xiaotian was upgraded from level 65 to level 86, with a soul power increase of 21 levels, plus a 50,000-year-old evil demon killer whale left arm soul bone. Huo Wushuang was upgraded from level 72 to level 88, with a soul power increase of 16 levels, plus a powerful 100,000-year-old soul ring. Huo Wu was upgraded from level 73 to level 88, with a soul power increase of 15 levels, and soul rings are purple. Purple purple black 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 red. The age of all Huo Wu's soul rings increased by 4,000 years, making her 4th soul ring just black. Shui Binger's soul power was upgraded from level 62 to level 83, with a soul power increase of 21 levels. Plus an 80,000-year-old evil demon killer whale right leg soul bone, and 15% sea god affinity. I just don't know if this sea god affinity is useful. Wang Fei was upgraded from level 75 to level 92, with a soul power increase of 17 levels, plus 2 100,000-year-old soul rings. The soul rings of the Fire Phoenix martial spirit are black 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 red red red. All of Xiaofei's soul rings have been upgraded by 12,000 years. The captain of the material transport fleet is called Arthur, a man over 50 years old. His soul power has reached level 74, and his martial soul is a sea snake. He was originally a purple level deacon of Poseidon Island. He was expelled from Poseidon Island because of a big mistake. His soul power was originally to be abolished. Later, out of the mercy of the great worshipper Poseidon, he was only expelled from Poseidon Island and arranged to be responsible for the safety of Poseidon Island's transportation materials. Xiaofei and his friends had some exchanges with Captain Arthur, and asked about some details and interesting things about sea voyages. The material transport team is mainly responsible for the purchase and transportation of some materials needed by Poseidon Island. At the same time, it is responsible for taking some special products of Poseidon Island to Hanhai City for sale and auction. There are specific channels for both sales and purchases, and they are all composed of devout sea soul masters. As for the safety issues during transportation, there is basically a sea soul master soul saint on each ship, plus several soul kings and soul emperors. It is mainly to prevent attacks from some sea soul beasts and some blind little pirates. On this sea, no big pirate dared to attack the transport fleet of Poseidon Island. Speaking of pirates, Xiaofei immediately became interested. Through communication with Arthur, the famous female pirate Zi Zhenju actually changed her career. Now she is no longer a pirate, but specializes in transport exploration and the like. Xiaofei couldn't help but sigh at the personality charm of Tang San and his group. the halo of the protagonist. At the same time, he also sighed at the wonder of the trajectory of fate. Tang San and his group did not have the Dragon Abyss boat, but they could still meet Zhizhenju and his group and subdue them. The transport fleet sailed on the sea for nearly half a month and finally returned to Hanhai City. The 7 people returned to land. Finally, this trip to Poseidon Island ended. Someone found the best restaurant nearby, ordered a private room directly, and had a big meal. The mainland food that had been away for 5 years tasted different. After eating and drinking, he directly called the Soul Emperor who looked more talkative in the hotel to the private room, also the one with the highest soul power on the scene, and asked him to introduce the major events that happened in the mainland in recent years. The Soul Emperor was very angry. He was a Soul Emperor, not an errand boy. How could he order himself like this? He was about to lose his temper, but Feng Xiaotian showed his 8 soul rings, which shocked the Soul Emperor. It was obvious that this group of people was not something that a mere Soul Emperor could provoke. The Soul Emperor knew that Xiaofei and his 7 companions had returned from the sea, so he introduced in detail some major events that had happened in recent years. Obviously, the Soul Emperor had a very wide range of news. After the introduction, many major events had indeed happened on the continent in recent years. First, Emperor Shui of the Tiando Empire died of illness, and the former Crown Prince Xue Qinghe also died for unknown reasons. Now the former 4th Prince Xue Beng succeeded him as the Emperor of the Tiando Empire. It is said that when the Crown Prince Xue Qinghe of the Tiando Empire died, the entire Tiando city was filled with blood and countless people were killed and injured. Second, due to problems with the original 3 sects, the Haotian sect had retired for many years, and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family and the 7 Treasures Glazed sect were attacked by mysterious forces one after another. Among them, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family was directly exterminated, and the strength of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect was greatly reduced. So under the auspices of the Spirit Hall, the new 7 major sects were reselected 3 years ago. Now the new top 3 sects are the Elephant Armor sect, the Holy Dragon sect, and the Black Tiger sect, and the new bottom 4 sects are the Wind Sword sect, the Fire Leopard sect, the Rock Antelope sect, and the Sparrow Bee sect. The masters of the top 3 sects have all broken through to the title Douluo. Among them is the familiar Tianxiang Hu Yanjin, who is already a titled Douluo of level 91, with a spirit of Diamond Mammoth, known as the world's best defense. Third, with the support of the new 7 major sects, the Spirit Hall announced the establishment of a country and changed its name to the Spirit Empire. All the Spirit Halls in the original 2 empires were closed and the Soul Masters were withdrawn. The Spirit Empire was formed on the basis of all the kingdoms and principalities of the original 2 empires, and it stood between the 2 empires, completely cutting off the connection between the 2 empires. The 3 empires are all preparing for war, and seem to be ready to fight at any time. Listening to the Soul Emperor's vivid description, everyone was very surprised. Obviously, these things had a huge impact. Huo Wushuang asked quickly, "How is the Element Academy now?" Soul Emperor scratched his head and said, "There is no news about the elements. They have remained neutral and have not asked anything. I heard that when the 7 major sects were re-elected, the Spirit Hall intended to win over the Element Academy and make it one of the top 3 sects, but it was rejected. Now the Tiando Empire is obviously short of Soul Masters. The Tiando Empire and the Spirit Hall are trying to win over the Element Academy, but it seems that recently the Vice Dean Feng Xian of the Element Academy has also broken through to the title Douluo, and there has been no news since then." Everyone was very surprised to hear that Dean Feng Xian had become a title Douluo, especially Feng Xiaotian. You know, Deans Feng Xian and Hua Tianchen are the natural enemies of Dugu Bo, the worshipper of the Tiando Empire. Now the Tiando Empire probably doesn't dare to force the Element Academy to stand on the side, for fear that the Spirit Hall will force it. After sending this Soul Emperor away, everyone fell silent, and there was no joy of returning to the mainland. Everyone wanted to return to the Element Academy as soon as possible. Xiaofei looked at a few people and knew that everyone was worried about the Element Academy and wanted to go home to help. Xiaofei pondered for a moment. "You go back to the Element Academy first. I have something to deal with in Soto City. I will return to the Element Academy as soon as possible after dealing with it." Huo Wu and others were surprised. What can happen in Soto City? I know there is a place in Soto City that may have a 9th soul ring suitable for me. You know, Xiaofei has been level 90 for more than a year, and he is only one fire attribute soul ring away. If he gets a suitable soul ring, Xiaofei's combat power will soar again. But Xiaofei's Fire Phoenix martial spirit already has 300,000-year soul rings, and the last one is probably not willing to be too low, and there is no trace of a 100,000-year fire attribute soul beast in the world now. Everyone thought about it and decided to go with Xiaofei to get the soul ring first, and then return to the academy. After all, Xiaofei has helped everyone a lot in the past few years, and it is a bit unreasonable not to help now. And the Element Academy should be safe for the time being. Chapter 95, Douluo's First Digging Hole. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The 7 Xiaofei did not stay in Hanhai City, but went directly to Soto City. This time, Xiaofei and the others did not take a carriage or use his family's means of transport, but ran quickly towards Soto City. For high-level soul masters, their running speed is far faster than that of horseback riding or other means of transportation. For some high-level soul masters of the speed or flying system, traveling thousands of miles in a day is not a problem at all. The 7 Xiaofei are all high-level soul masters, the lowest are soul saints, and their physical fitness is extremely strong. Continuous travel is not a problem for them at all. After traveling day and night for about 4 days, Xiaofei and the others arrived at their destination, the Flame Bird's Nest. Walking into the Flame Bird's Nest and driving away a 1,000-year soul beast inside, you looked at the surrounding environment. There seemed to be no other changes in the area. Xiaofei told everyone that when he was 11 years old, he lived in the Flame Bird's Nest for almost a year. Everyone was very surprised. He dared to live alone in the soul beast's nest at the age of 11. He was indeed a pervert. Feng Xiaotian quickly flew around and felt the surrounding situation carefully. I have carefully observed the surrounding area. It doesn't look like there is a 100,000-year soul beast. Xiaofei shook his head. The 100,000-year soul beast is not in the fire maple forest, it should be inside the volcano. Huo Wushuang and Huo Wu finally realized, isn't this the place where we obtained the 4th soul ring, the fire lizard? Yes, it's here. When I obtained the soul ring, I felt an astonishing power coming from under the volcano. Although it was only for a moment, I can be sure that there must be a very powerful fire element hidden under the volcano. Soul Beast. Xiaofei and the others planned to rest one night near the Flame Bird's Nest and go looking for the 100,000-year soul beast tomorrow. The 7 people gathered together to eat, and Xiaofei was ready to take a good rest, but everyone seemed to be very interested in Xiaofei's past, especially Xiaofei's 1-year life in the Flame Bird's Nest. Xiaofei didn't want to pay attention to it at first, but he couldn't bear the curious and expectant expressions on the 2 girls Huo Wu and Shui Binger, so he had to tell some interesting things about his past life at Notting College and the Flame Bird's Nest. As they talked, the 2 girls it seems more and more fascinating. Xiaofei had no choice but to continue talking until midnight. When the few people reluctantly dispersed to rest, early the next morning, the 7 people set out from the Flame Bird's Nest and quickly climbed to the crater. When we arrived at the crater, we saw the same spectacular scene we had seen before. In the center of the volcano was boiling magma, and there were small holes, even bigger than a human thigh. Xiaofei and Huo Wu turned to look at Huo Wushuang. The other 4 were a little surprised. Why were they looking for Huo Wushuang at this time? Shouldn't Xiaofei directly use his mental power to investigate? Huo Wushuang had no choice but to tell the function of the soul bone on his head. After hearing the explanation, the 4 people were amazed. Huo Wushuang, a battle soul master with a fiery dragon spirit, actually has such a detectable soul bone. As expected in the world, it's nothing surprising. You should be careful when you meet Huo Wushuang in the future and don't let him detect your privacy. Seeing the expressions of the 4 people, ranging from curiosity to caution, and finally to a bit defensive, Huo Wushuang was speechless for a while. Next was Huo Wushuang's work. Huo Wushuang kept launching soul bone skills against the ground, and then carefully experienced the effect of the soul bone attack. After going through the tidal body refining, Huo Wushuang's mental power has been greatly improved, and now Huo Wushuang is a contra, and the detection distance has exceeded 3,000 meters. This is not just relying on the feeling of mental power, but actual detection, the effect is more precise, and the effect is better than some spiritual title Douluo. Wushwang searched for a long time, but didn't seem to find anything. He could only say, there shouldn't be any big holes 3 kilometers underground. However, these small holes for the fire lizards to enter and exit seem to slowly merge together underground. The specific extension distance is more than 3 kilometers, and there are even very curved phenomena. Xiaofei thought about it carefully. Yes, it should be in the lair. Have you noticed? The fire lizards have not come out of the crater, so where do their water sources come from? So there must be them underground. There are even underground rivers. If we keep digging along these holes, we will definitely find them. Having said this, Xiaofei turned to look at Niu Meng, and the others also looked at him. This made Niu Meng extremely depressed, so he had to say, although our royal clan is good at construction, that's just building houses. We are not good at digging holes and tunnels. Xiaofei was speechless at once. Such a good construction talent was wasted. If he had used this talent in digging tunnels and robbing tombs, casually digging some underground mineral veins or titled Douluo tombs, the Yu clan would have become the richest Douluo man long ago. Xiaofei looked around at everyone, and none of them seemed to have the talent for digging holes. He had no choice but to use his external soul bone to start digging a hole. Everyone looked at Xiaofei's external soul bone and complained again, you use such a powerful external soul bone to dig holes in the ground. It's really a waste of resources. Xiaofei dug a hole in the ground quickly. He was the #1 hole digger in Douluo Continent. Who dug a hole faster than a 60,000-year-old spirit bone? Student Niu Meng finally played a professional role for the first time, constantly reinforcing the wall of the cave to prevent collapse. He is worthy of being from the Department of Civil Engineering, Study Department. Wushwang continued to explore. Feng Xiaotian is responsible for the external wind detection and protection to prevent emergencies, and is also responsible for the disposal of excess soil and stones. Yang Pejuan was responsible for dealing with the soul beasts that suddenly appeared, either killing them or knocking them out and throwing them away. The two girls chatted boredly, and it seemed that they were still talking about Xiaofei, and there was not a burst of laughter. Xiaofei first dug vertically for a long distance. As he dug, the underground cave of the earth fire system turned horizontal. In the end, there were various bends upward and downward, which made Xiaofei speechless. This cave was too horizontal. Suddenly, Wushwang said with a serious face, stop quickly. Xiaofei and Niu Meng stopped immediately and moved their hands. The few people looked at Wushwang's serious expression and knew that they were almost at their destination. Wushwang said, there is a large hole about 3 kilometers ahead. There is a very strong breath inside, like a 100,000-year-old soul beast. Xiaofei thought about it and asked Wushwang to stop detecting to prevent alerting the enemy. Then he continued to dig forward gently, and at the same time, activated the head soul bone to prevent other people or creatures from detecting Xiaofei's situation. As Xiaofei and his friends walked forward cautiously, a little fire began to appear in front. Feng Xiaotian, Yang Pejuan, Huo Wu, and Shui Binger also stopped their original work and followed Xiaofei seriously. Obviously, the final battle was about to begin. Everyone held their breath and moved gently towards the direction of the fire. Chapter 96, Earth Fire Lizard King. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. As the fire in front approached, Xiaofei and the other 7 people became more and more nervous. A normal 100,000-year soul beast is comparable to a level 95 title Douluo, and it requires a strong title Douluo. In order to deal with the Titan Giant Ape and the Azure Bull Python, Bibi Dong brought 6 title Douluos in addition to herself, the Peerless Douluo. And they also had to prevent the 100,000-year soul beast from self-destructing. When Xiaofei and the other 7 people walked out of the cave, the environment outside shocked everyone. The underground cavity was very large, half a mile long and wide. The lowest point on the left was actually a hot magma pool, which was full of boiling magma. There was actually a small open space in the middle of the magma pool. There was a tree on the open space, and there were only a few fruits on the tree. Obviously, this tree was very unusual. There was actually a small dark river on the right, and not much water flowed out of the dark river. At the end of the dark river was a pool of milky white liquid. There was a large thorn in the middle of the cavity, a bit like the martial soul of a female soul master in the Botanical Academy. The red flame thorn. On a higher platform in the center of the cave, a huge soul beast was sleeping. The soul beast was about 20 meters long. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a huge earth-fire lizard. According to the age and length of the earth-fire lizard, this earth-fire lizard is estimated to be more than 200,000 years old. It should be called the earth-fire lizard king. Compared with ordinary earth-fire lizards, this earth-fire lizard has a layer of fine fiery red scales all over its body, and 2 horns have grown on its head. Its limbs are like sharp claws, and it emits bursts of red light. It seems that there is endless pressure spreading around. Suddenly, the earth-fire lizard king opened his eyes and spoke in human language. "Human, you actually ran here to die." The 7 people instantly opened their martial souls and attacked the earth-fire lizard king directly. Seeing that the 7 people dared to attack him, the earth-fire lizard king roared, and the roar actually contained a strong mental attack. Then he swept his right hand, and Yang Pejuan and Feng Xiaotian were blown away directly. Then he flicked his tail, and Niu Meng's defense was like paper, and a plate-armored giant rhino was also thrown away. Then a fiery red light spit out from his mouth. Although Shui Binger was flying in the air, her ice phoenix martial spirit was actually melting, in the blink of an eye. 4 of the 7 people had been attacked and were obviously injured. The unicorn fire Tyrannosaurus incarnated by Huo Wushuang directly confronted the Earth Fire Lizard King, obviously wanting to confront the Earth Fire Lizard King head-on to buy time for everyone. Xiaofei activated one of the skills of his left arm's soul bone, Netherworld Dragon King Entanglement, and immediately turned into a huge fiery red Netherworld Dragon King to entangle the Earth Fire Lizard King, and it also came with extremely strong hellfire damage. Even the entire space was like being in a sea of fire. Huo Wu used the 100,000-year soul skill used against the 7 sacred pillars, fire shadows all over the sky. Countless fire shadows in the space attacked the Earth Fire Lizard King, and there were also explosions. The Earth Fire Lizard King roared again, and a red light appeared around the Earth Fire Lizard King. The flame attacks of the 3 people were actually melting. Obviously, this is the domain of the Earth Fire Lizard King, the Fire Lizard domain, which can control all the flames in its own domain. The 3 of them understood that this Earth Fire Lizard King had been around the magma for a long time, and had a strong fire resistance, and also had a very strong control over the flames. The 3 of them were all fire-type soul masters, so they were a little restrained. At this time, Feng Xiaotian and the other 4 entered the battlefield again. Feng Xiaotian and Shui Binger used a tangle method in the air, flying quickly, and occasionally attacking the Earth Fire Lizard King when he was not paying attention. Niu Meng and Yang Pejuan assisted Huo Wushuang to share the pressure of the head-on confrontation. The battle between the 7 people and the Earth Fire Lizard King was extremely fierce, and the entire ground seemed to be shaking, and the ground even cracked. This time, Xiaofei could be said to have used all his means, and basically used all his soul skills and soul bone skills, including several 100,000-year soul bone skills. The Earth Fire Lizard King has reached 200,000 years, and can be regarded as one of the strongest soul beasts in Douluo Continent, even stronger than the sky blue bull python. It has reached the 97th level of title Douluo among human soul masters. And the body is very strong. The battle lasted for a full hour, and even with Xiaofei's current soul power, it was a bit hard to keep up, and the others consumed more, and their soul power was basically at the bottom. And there were all kinds of scars on his body. The Earth Fire Lizard was even more exhausted, and could only rely on his strong body to resist the attack. The Earth Fire Lizard King was indeed a fierce beast, and he did not retreat even at the end. The Earth Fire Lizard King finally roared, "Human, I would rather die than become your soul ring." Then his whole body radiated red light, obviously wanting to self-destruct. Xiaofei used the head soul bone skill to the extreme, and a mental shock attacked the head of the Earth Fire Lizard King, and then his left leg turned into an axe, emitting a straight line of light, like a giant axe slashing forward, directly splitting the head of the Earth Fire Lizard King in half. It was the left leg soul bone skill, the evil killer whale axe. It was also Xiaofei's most restrained attack on the Earth Fire Lizard King. After all, the evil killer whale king was a water soul beast, and the soul bone skills also tended to attack water. As the head of the earth fire lizard king was split open, a huge red soul ring appeared above the body of the earth fire lizard king. Xiaofei quickly took out the herbs for healing and soul power recovery from his arm guard and gave them to everyone, while Xiaofei himself activated the right leg soul bone skill to heal himself. Half an hour later, Xiaofei and the other 7 only recovered a small part of their strength, but there was no time to wait. Xiaofei immediately arranged for Feng Xiaotian to bury the cave in the crater to prevent others from disturbing him. Feng Xiaotian had been fighting in the air just now, so his consumption and injuries were relatively small. Feng Xiaotian nodded and flashed out, while the others guarded the cave entrance to prevent anyone from breaking in. After all, the scale of the battle just now was very large, and the entire underground space was almost full of cracks. Xiaofei walked to the body of the Earth Fire Lizard King and first collected the soul bone produced by the Earth Fire Lizard King, a fiery red right arm soul bone. Then he sat in front of the red soul ring and began to absorb the 9th soul ring of the Fire Phoenix. With Xiaofei's current physical condition and mental strength, there is no problem in absorbing the 200,000-year soul ring. It took Xiaofei 3 days to absorb this 200,000-year soul ring. Feng Xiaotian blocked the whole of the crater with a boulder, and took Niu Mengjiang to create an earthquake around him. The rest of the people kept recovering from their soul injuries and paid full attention to the changes in the surrounding space. 3 days later, Xiaofei had absorbed all the soul rings. Xiaofei took out the soul bone and planned to absorb it all in one go. This soul bone is the most suitable for Xiaofei at this stage, and it is also the most powerful soul bone in Xiaofei. It took Xiaofei another day to absorb the soul bone. When Xiaofei finished absorbing the soul ring and soul bone, his soul power had reached the peak of level 93, and it is expected to reach level 94 soon. Moreover, there is no rejection between different soul bones, which is obviously the effect of the light of the sea god and the power of the sea god in the tidal body refining. Looking at the worried eyes of everyone, Xiaofei smiled. I am very good now, and I feel unprecedentedly strong. Now I should be able to defeat the Earth Fire Lizard King independently. Chapter 97, Royal Poinciana and Phoenix Blood Fruit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaofei observed himself carefully, and the Earth Fire Lizard Emperor gave Xiaofei 4 powerful soul rings and soul bone soul skills. 9th Soul Ring Skill 1, Feng Ming Jiu Xiao, uses the soul skill to launch a cry, roar, has a powerful group spiritual attack, and can control bird soul beasts and martial spirits. It can break all illusions, including assistance, skills, etc. Skill 2, Flame Prison, which can form a huge flame prison in the surrounding space, and can launch fire chains to block the enemy's actions and attacks, and even their souls. Combined with the Fire King domain, the range and power are even greater. Soul Bone Skill 1, Lizard Emperor Claw, transforms into a huge claw in the void and attacks forward. Like a Jedi strike from the Earth Fire Lizard Emperor, it can tear through space. Skill 2, Lizard King Guard, summons multiple Earth Fire Lizard Kings similar in size and strength to fight, up to 9. At this point, Xiaofei already has 7 soul bones, except for the most valuable torso bone. And according to the rules of the Douluo world, the 100,000-year-old soul beasts Xiaofei will kill in the future will all produce trunk bones. There is a setting in the original work that when a Douluo Continent soul master kills a 100,000-year-old soul beast, he will produce a 100,000-year-old soul bone that the soul master himself does not have. The value of trunk bones is far higher than that of other body parts, soul bones. At the same time, Xiaofei has been insisting on absorbing the fire-type soul beast with the Fire Phoenix spirit, and finally achieved greater breakthroughs and achievements. Xiaofei once again mastered a domain, the Fire King domain. When Xiaofei opens the Fire Phoenix domain, it will form a huge sea of fire, which can absorb and control all fire elements in the domain, and is especially restrained against fire element soul masters. The sea of fire will continue to cause fire damage to the enemy. Next, Xiaofei and the others began to hunt for treasure in the underground space. The 7 people came to the side of the magma and looked at the tree that existed in the open space in the middle of the magma. Everyone was also stunned by this strange sight. There are actually trees that can live around magma. The 7 people carefully observed the ground in the middle of the magma. It turned out to be hard rocks, and trees growing on the rocks. The whole tree is not big, only less than 10 meters, but the whole tree is full of brilliance, which is obviously not ordinary. The trees obviously do not grow by absorbing sunlight, but directly absorb the energy in the magma to grow. The roots and trunks of the trees are dark red, and the leaves are also fiery red. There are 5 fruits at the top of the tree. The largest one is already emitting bursts of bright light. The 3 are about half the size and emit slightly weaker light. There is also a smaller one. Obviously, the smallest one is not mature yet, and those fruits are very attractive to Xiaofei, Huo Wushuang, Huo Wu, and Shui Binger. Xiaofei carefully observed the whole tree and fruits, and seemed to think of something. He opened his eyes to the maximum and swallowed saliva in his throat. Xiaofei explained, "This tree may be the legendary phoenix tree, or phoenix tree. Legend has it that it was transformed from the phoenix's heart blood dripping on the sycamore tree, and the phoenix blood fruit that grows on the phoenix tree is the phoenix tree. The essence of wood is the phoenix bloodline, which is regarded as a sacred object for fire soul masters and phoenix bloodline soul masters." Huo Wushuang asked doubtfully, "Can this phoenix blood fruit greatly increase our soul power?" Xiaofei shook his head, "No, the phoenix blood fruit will not increase the level of our soul power. Because it is at a higher level and can evolve the soul master's martial soul and bloodline, and even improve the physical fitness. This is what it can be called. For reasons of fetish." Xiaofei transformed into a fire phoenix and flew to the Poinciana tree, took down the 4 ripe fruits and some branches and leaves, and put them all in the jade box. The unripe fruit was not picked for the time being. Anyway, no one knows about this place yet. I guess Yang Wudi will want to study this tree next time. Immature fruits are expected to have average effects. Xiaofei handed a jade box containing a ripe fruit to Shui Binger, Huo Wu, and Huo Wushuang. The 3 wanted to refuse, but the jade box was very attractive to the 3 of them, so they finally accepted it. Xiaofei himself put away the biggest fruit. Several people planned to go back and absorb it again. Xiaofei didn't even know how to take this thing, so it would be safer to go back and ask Yang Wudi for advice first, especially Shui Binger, whose attributes didn't match it after all. Xiaofei looked at the Poinciana tree. It was obvious that the roots of the Poinciana tree were probably longer than the tree trunk. He couldn't help but shook his head. Unfortunately, the roots of the Poinciana tree are too long. We may not be able to transplant them for the time being. It would be great if they could be transplanted to our college. Everyone was scornful for a while. This 6th child, after receiving such great benefits, actually wanted to take away the entire Poinciana tree. Sure enough, it was like a wild goose plucking its feathers. No wonder there are so many collections. The 7 people took a closer look at the underground space. The ground was covered with red flame thorns, and there were traces of being chewed on in many places. It is estimated that the earth fire lizard emperor usually eats red flame thorns. The 7 people came to a small milky white pool. The small pool was only about 1 meter in diameter. It was entirely filled with milky white liquid, which had a crystal luster and exuded a rich power of the earth. The 7 people swallowed. This milky white liquid was obviously extraordinary. Niu Meng looked at Yang Pejuan, but Yang Pejuan also looked confused. Several people immediately complained, after all, they are from a family that refines medicine, but they don't understand this stuff. Their professional level is too low, right? Xiaofei observed it carefully for a while, and then said, "It should be the Earth's heart milk, the 10,000 years Earth's heart milk. The Earth's core milk is produced under the Earth. It is concentrated from the pure power of the Earth. It has been concentrated for hundreds of years to form the Earth's core mist, which has miraculous solid effects. It has been concentrated for thousands of years to form the Earth's core liquid, which can help people cleanse their marrow and hair. Earth's core milk is the best of the Earth heart liquids. It not only has the effect of cleansing marrow and cutting bones, but can also help some people who have reached the peak to break through barriers. The effect is comparable to some of the best drugs, and it is even better for soul beasts." Niu swallowed hard. "Is this thing useful to us?" Of course it works, especially for you who have the earth attribute, the effect is better. Then how should we use it? Just take it directly. This earth core milk is effective for all of you, especially Niu Meng and Yang Pejuan. But it is recommended to consume no more than 1 kilogram at a time. After all 7 people took the earth core milk, the effect was much smaller than expected. Only Niu Meng and Yang Pejuan became slightly stronger and their soul power increased by 1 level. This made everyone look at Xiaofei with contempt. This old man was finally wrong once. Xiaofei was speechless for a while, so he had to use a jade bottle to pack all the earth core milk by himself, always feeling that something was wrong. After finishing, the 7 people prepared to go home. Xiaofei looked around the entire underground space, which was so dark that the Earth Fire Lizard King would enjoy and hide. This is simply a perfect place for the cultivation of fire soul beasts. No wonder no one knew about it after 200,000 years of cultivation. Before leaving, the cave had been professionally processed by Niu Meng. Except for Xiaofei and the other 7 people, basically no one else could find it. The 7 of them started on their journey again, and 5 days later, they finally returned to the Elemental Academy. Chapter 98 7 people returned to the Element Academy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After nearly 4 years of training, the 7 finally returned to the Element Academy. When the 7 entered the gate of the academy, the guard notified several deans immediately. The 7 wanted to return to their respective departments. But the guard notified them to go to the office of Dean Huatiancheng, and all the vice deans would also gather in the office of Huatiancheng. In the dean's office, the deans were very excited to see the 7 return from the Sea God Island. They pulled their children to ask about their well-being and understand the situation. When the 7 showed their soul power and soul rings, the 5 deans were even more excited, especially Huo Wu and Huo Wushuang's 2 red soul rings, and Xiaofei's 4 red soul rings, which blinded everyone at the scene. Finally, Xiaofei introduced all the experiences of this trip, including some details of the battle, especially the battle between the evil demon killer Whale King and the Earth Fire Lizard King. Several deans were amazed. Then several people also learned about the situation of the Academy and Douluo Continent. Vice Dean Feng Xian, the head of the Kamikaze Department, is already level 91 and is the second title Douluo of the Element Academy. 4 years ago, due to taking the 10,000-year-old medicinal herb sent by Xiaofei, several people have made great progress. Among them, Vice Dean Niu Gao has been promoted from level 84 4 years ago to level 89 now, and Vice Deans Lu Ruyan and Yang Woody have both been promoted to level 88. In addition, Huo Lai, the Deputy Director of the Blazing Fire Department, has also reached level 88. Xiaofei originally hoped to use the Earth Core Milk to help everyone break through to the title Douluo, but after seeing the effect last time, he did not mention it, and still thought about whether there are other ways to improve everyone's soul power level. Secondly, 4 years ago, not long after Xiaofei and the other 7 left, Tiando City had a palace coup. The original Prince Shui Qinghe turned out to be the Saint Maiden Qian Renxue of the Spirit Hall. After the palace coup failed, the 2 sides fought a war and countless people were slaughtered. After the palace coup, Prince Xuebeng became the prince, and Tang San was named King Lanhao for his meritorious service in saving the emperor. A year ago, Emperor Shui died, and Prince Xuebeng officially became the emperor of the Tiando Empire. After Xuebeng ascended the throne, he reused the Tang sect and vigorously rectified the army. Now there are already 1 million troops on the border, and a war may break out at any time. Emperor Xuebeng attaches great importance to Shrek Academy. Yu Xiaojiang of Shrek Academy is the national teacher, focusing on training the army and soul masters. With the support of the Tiando Empire, Shrek Academy is now the second soul master academy in the Tiando Empire. In terms of scale and number of students, it even exceeds our Element Academy. The only difference is that the students' level and soul power level are much lower than ours, and the gap between teachers is even greater. When the new 3 sects were established, Pope Bibi Dong sent people to the Element Academy to invite him, but was rejected by several deans. After Xuebeng ascended the throne of the Tiando Empire, he still tried to win over our Element Academy as before, but was also rejected by several deans. In addition, Emperor Xuebeng sent people to our Element Academy to find Wang Xiaofei, hoping that Wang Xiaofei would return the Tiando Empire's national treasure, the Hanhai Qiankuan cover, but was rejected by the Element Academy on the grounds that Wang Xiaofei went out for training. Now the three kingdoms of Tiando Empire, Xinglua Empire and Wuhuan Empire are preparing for war, with more than 1 million troops stockpiled on the border, and a war may break out at any time. After everyone had communicated almost everything, several deans took their children back to rest or continue to communicate. Dean Hua Tianchen took Hua Wu, Hua Wushuang and Xiao Fei back to the Blazing Fire Department. Several people continued to communicate about some other issues. When Xiao Fei asked about the hint of the inheritance place of the god of fire, Hua Tianchen was also confused. At night, Xiao Fei practiced alone in his dormitory. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door outside. Xiao Fei thought it was Hua Wu, and he was secretly happy. As a result, when he opened the door, it turned out to be Yang Wudi, a rough man. Xiao Fei was speechless. Xiao Fei said listlessly, "Senior Yang, it's late now. Can we talk tomorrow?" Yang Wudi sat on the chair, stretched out his hand, and said carelessly, "Give it to me." Xiao Fei was confused. "Senior Yang, I don't seem to owe you anything. I have something. Don't you know it very well?" Since the challenge and the delivery of medicine, Xiao Fei and Yang Wudi often consulted each other, and both benefited a lot. Then they studied medicine together, and they took out their own collections from time to time. Therefore, Yang Wudi still knew a little about Xiao Fei's family background, but this did not include the things hidden in Xiao Fei's belt. Yang Wudi snorted coldly, "I'm talking about what you got from the Earth Fire Lizard King this time." "Oh, it turned out to be these things, you should have said it earlier." After that, Xiao Fei took out several bottles of Earth Core milk from the Phoenix Ring. This Earth Core milk is a bit unworthy of its name. According to its performance, it should be 1,000-year-old Earth Core milk, but the actual effect is far worse than the legend. Xiao Fei even complained in his heart, "Is there a copycat product in Douluo Continent?" Yang Wudi carefully took the Earth Core milk, and smelled it from time to time, used soul power to explore it, and used a lot of tools to study it. Sometimes he even tasted it directly. Xiao Fei seriously suspected that Yang Wudi wanted to steal it. After the study, Yang Wudi looked down on Xiao Fei and said, "Let you learn more about medicinal materials and medicine from me in normal times. Now it's okay, right? You don't know anything at the critical moment and almost missed this rare treasure." Xiao Fei was curious. "No, it's not right. The 7 of us took it, and the effect was far worse than described, even similar to the 1,000-year-old Earth Core milk. Did I misjudge it? Let me ask you, what is the main function of the 10,000-year-old Earth Core milk?" "The Book of Changes cleanses the marrow and tempers the body." "Then who are you 7? Aren't we just soul masters with higher soul power? Doesn't the description say that Earth Core milk has a good effect on tidal Douluo?" Yang Wudi looked contemptuous again. "You know shit, Earth Core milk can indeed cleanse the marrow, but the 7 of you are all assessors of Sea God Island. After the light of Sea God and tidal body refining, what medicinal herbs in the world can better temper the body than the power of Sea God? Take the kid from Lao Nyo's family as an example. Now his soul power is only level 75, before taking Earth Core milk, but his physical fitness is probably close to that of an ordinary tidal Douluo. What effect can Earth Core milk have on him?" Xiao Fei suddenly realized that it was no wonder that he didn't feel anything after taking it. Xiao Fei took out the jade box containing the phoenix blood fruit and some branches and leaves of the phoenix tree. Yang Wudi carefully observed the branches and leaves for a while, and took them away without saying a word. Finally, Yang Wudi opened the jade box and looked at the huge phoenix blood fruit inside. If Yang Wudi was surprised when he saw the Earth Core milk and the flamboyant tree branches and leaves before, now, his expression is a little panic. Yang Wudi directly closed the jade box and returned it to Xiao Fei. "You have this thing in your hand, you must not let anyone see it, and you'd better not take it now. When your soul power reaches a bottleneck and you feel that it is difficult to make progress, this fruit may become the key. I will also tell the other deans and tell their kids not to talk nonsense." Looking at Yang Wudi's serious expression, Xiao Fei had no choice but to nod. Chapter 99, Wang Xiaofei, Vice President of the Element Academy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Xiaofei sent Yang Wudi away, he was just about to meditate when there was a knock on the door again. Xiaofei was immediately speechless. Will this Yang Wudi let others practice? As soon as he opened the door, a gust of fragrant wind blew in his face. It was Shui Binger who came to visit. Xiaofei immediately became energetic and directly invited Shui Binger into the living room. Shui Binger did not follow Xiaofei into the dormitory, but directly took out the vast sea universe cover. Thank you for lending me the vast sea universe shield. Without it, I probably wouldn't have been able to pass the 9th Poseidon examination. It doesn't seem to be of much use to me now, so I might as well return it to you first. Xiaofei shook his head. Senior Binger, although your second test is more difficult, Master Poseidon actually still values you very much. As far as I know, no one who fails the test can leave safely. When I was on Poseidon Island, I actually had no choice. I was afraid that all of us would be trapped on Poseidon Island for a lifetime because of the assessment, so I tried to find a way for you to obtain Poseidon number 9. It's just the 7th level of assessment that follows. I didn't expect it either. I will try my best to find the inheritance place of Vulcan and let you pass the test as soon as possible. Shui Binger smiled with a charming look on her face. No matter what, I want to thank you. I'd better leave the vast sea universe shield with you for safekeeping first. I think it is very important to you now. If you really need me for the assessment then, come get it again. Xiaofei thought about it carefully, whether this vast sea cosmic shield was related to Tang San's 8th Poseidon test, it was safer to put it on himself. Then he took the vast sea universe cover from Shui Binger's hand and said, Senior Binger, if you need it any time, you can always come to me to get it. Shui Binger nodded, hugged Xiaofei while Xiaofei wasn't paying attention, and kissed Xiaofei on the face. Then he left quickly, leaving Xiaofei with a dull look on his face and a gust of fragrant wind. Xiaofei was feeling a little restless now. It seemed that he couldn't calm down and practice, and the effect of practice wouldn't be very good. He suddenly ran to the nearby Huowu room. The next morning, the 7 Xiaofei people were called to the dean's office again. Looking at the expectant eyes of everyone, he took out a small half of the earth's heart milk from his armband, and suddenly thought of something. Senior Yang, can you refine the earth's heart milk into a pill, which can greatly improve your cultivation? Yang Wudi shook his head and said, the 10,000 years earth heart milk is originally the best elixir. It may be more effective if it is made into a pill, but it will not be so pure and the soul power will be relatively exaggerated. I remember that the 10,000 years earth heart milk has a better effect on soul beasts. If a pill is made to greatly increase the age of the soul beasts, can some soul beasts that are close to 100,000 years old be upgraded to the realm of 100,000 years? Yang Wudi thought about it carefully. It's possible, but such a 100,000-year soul beast may be relatively exaggerated. Its strength will be much worse than other 100,000-year soul beasts, and it will require a lot of heavenly and earthly treasures. That's no problem, as long as it's a 100,000-year soul beast. A 100,000-year soul ring has one more soul skill than a 10,000-year soul ring, and it's much more powerful. The most important thing is that a 100,000-year soul beast is bound to come out. Soul bone. Everyone looked at Xiaofei and was speechless for a while. They already had so many 100,000-year soul rings, and they still wanted to continue. It was really bad. But thinking about this, everyone will have a 100,000-year soul ring and soul bone, and they are all very happy. On the other hand, Hua Tianchen and Feng Xian were helpless. Who said they were already titled Douluo? What a waste of opportunity. Yang Wudi divided some of the heart milk among Hua Lai, Feng Xian, Niu Gao and Lu Ruyan, and then took most of it himself. According to Yang Wudi's idea, it is estimated that it will take half a month to research the prescription, and it may take a month to refine the elixir. Yang Wudi also took away a large number of genius treasures from Xiaofei, which made everyone's eyes widen. Xiaofei was extremely depressed. Why was it always he who got hurt? Just as Xiaofei was about to leave, he was stopped by Yang Wudi again. Did you forget to take out anything else? F***CK. You old goat, believe it or not, I'm going to beat you up. You said I've shaved my head clean, what else can I have? I heard that you got a lot of corpses of evil killer whales. Use some of them to donate to the academy. It just so happens that the academy has extra lunch. Xiaofei cursed Yang Wudi countless times in his mind, but finally had no choice but to take out a storage soul guide, which estimated to contain about 30 evil killer whales. Tianqian looked at Xiaofei and smiled. According to our joint communication, from now on, Wang Xiaofei is the honorary vice president of our College of Elements. Everyone applauds. That the crowd burst into applause. Yang Wudi said with a smile on his face, "Congratulations to Wang Xiaofei for becoming the vice president of the Elements Academy. I hope Wang Xiaofei will continue to work hard and contribute to the Elements Academy in the future." Xiaofei suddenly complained in his heart, "I have made so many contributions to the College of Elements, and now I have an honorary vice president. Why didn't he mention the salary of the deputy dean? Where's the reward, where's the beauty? No, you have to fight for it." Xiaofei quickly said, "Deans, since I am also the deputy dean now, should I talk about my welfare issues? For example, salary, bonus, etc." Several deans looked at Xiaofei as if they were idiots. Finally, Dean Hua Tianqian coughed lightly and said, "Deputy Dean Xiaofei, I'm afraid we don't know what you said." Xiaofei had a question mark on his head. "You also know that the operation of our Element Academy is supported by 5 companies, and each company needs to support 1/5 of the cost of the operation of the Academy. Of course, now that you have joined, each of us will become 1/6. As for the place, we can simply give you the vacant botanical garden of our Academy. In the future, you can also serve as the director of the botanical garden, so that old Yang will be a little more relaxed. Then what rights do I have as the vice president? Our academy is independently operated by each department. In the future, all matters of the botanical garden will be decided by you. As for the rest, you only have the right to make suggestions and vote." Xiaofei turned around and left without saying a word. Whoever wants to be the vice president can be the vice president. No, it's just an honorary vice president. Behind him came the laughter of everyone, especially Yang Wudi's laughter, which was even more unbearable. The next day, Wang Xiaofei's head portrait had entered the academy introduction column. At the same time, Wang Xiaofei's name also spread all over the world in the name of the academy. Suddenly, the world was shocked. Huo Wu and others also sent a set of green dean's clothes, even a hat, headdress. No matter how Huo Wu and the others urged him, Xiaofei refused to try on the dean's uniform. This made them feel very sorry. Xiaofei came to the college introduction column alone, and when he saw his handsome avatar in the introduction column, he couldn't help but nodded. The introduction column read, Wang Xiaofei, Vice President of the Element College, concurrently Deputy Director of the Element College Teaching Department, responsible for the education work of all departments of the entire Element College. Xiaofei's eyes suddenly lit up. This is not bad, it is necessary to go to the Tianshui department for education in the future. Write a fun article, I hope everyone will laugh. Chapter 100. The youngest titled Douluo is born. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the following time, at the invitation of several vice presidents, Xiaofei went to 5 departments and took several days of courses in each department, including some cultivation experience, fighting skills and so on. At the same time, he also gained a lot of reputation in the college. After all, he was also the vice president of the college. Moreover, the experience of the title Douluo is very useful, and a little bit of advice may make the low-level student suddenly enlightened. Of course, the courses taught in each college are also different. The Blazing Fire Department, as Xiaofei's home department, mainly introduced some flame application skills and changes. The Divine Wind, Gengjin and Su Earth departments mainly fought with them, without opening the Soul Ring, and took the opportunity to beat Feng Xiaotian, Yang Pejuan and Niu Meng. Who told these guys to always try to take advantage of themselves? The Sky Water department mainly talked about some underwater combat skills, especially some combat habits of sea soul masters. He even fought with several beautiful soul masters in the water, which made the girls on the scene scream. After the battle, there were all kinds of beauties coming to ask about his well-being, and they were almost throwing themselves into his arms, making Xiaofei feel like he was in heaven, and he wanted to stay in the Tianshui system forever. At the same time, the news that Xiaofei broke through the title Douluo and became the vice president of the Element Academy spread all over the world. The Element Academy also became famous again. Wuhuan Empire, Wuhuan City, the emperor of the empire Bibi Dong sat on the high platform wearing golden armor. Ju Douluo, tell me the results of the investigation. Why is such a good seedling, and born in a civilian family, how could he become the vice president of the Element Academy? Ju Douluo, who was the first, bowed and saluted. Wang Xiaofei, was born in the Holy Soul village of Nodding City, Fastno City, Tiando Empire. He is an orphan and was raised by the village elder Jack. At the age of 6, he awakened his martial soul, the flame bird, and his innate soul power is level 8. After confirmation, his martial soul is the fire phoenix, and the awakening personnel misjudged it at the time. I studied at Nodding Junior College for 5 years and graduated with a soul power of level 26. During this period, my Wuhuan Hall deacon Su Yuntao invited him to join the Wuhuan Hall many times, but he refused because his grandfather was too old to leave home. Later, he joined the Element Academy. He participated in the finals of the Soul Master competition 9 years ago. At that time, he was less than 15 years old and his soul power was level 49. During the competition, there were rumors that Xiaofei squeezed his potential and forcibly improved his soul power. 3.5 years ago, there were traces of his fighting spirit in Hanhai City. According to the investigation, Wang Xiaofei should have been training on the Sea God Island recently and returned recently. In addition, through investigation, the former crown prince of the Tiando Empire, Shui Qinghe, and the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect Ningfengji, have tried to win him over many times, but he declined all of them. Wang Xiaofei is usually very low-key, and even rarely participates in the soul fighting. Moreover, this person is extremely hard-working in cultivation and has almost no intersection with other forces. In addition, according to internal information from the Element Academy, the former Blazing Fire twins Huo Wu and Huo Wushuang, the former Shenfeng Academy genius Feng Xiaotian, and the former Tianshui Academy genius Shui Binger. The four have reached the Soul Douluo level. The former Pei clan Yang Pejuan and Yue clan Niu Meng have also reached the Soul Saint level. Except for Feng Xiaotian, the rest of the personnel are under 30 years old. The Element Academy does not limit the origin of students, and internal information is easy to leak. Everyone present swallowed their saliva. A 24-year-old titled Douluo, and 3 soul Douluos under the age of 30, in a few years, wouldn't there be 6 titled Douluos, plus Hua Tianchen and Feng Xian? The Element Academy is the most powerful force in the world. On the surface, a man in the crowd said in a deep voice, "Your Majesty, why don't we take advantage of their unpreparedness and kill them?" But everyone looked at this person as if he were an idiot, and the people next to him immediately moved away from him. It might be difficult to kill a flying title Douluo even if 3 title Douluos were sent. Besides, as I said just now, this person is extremely low-key. Bibi Dong pondered for a while. Chrysanthemum Douluo, Ghost Douluo, Nana, the 3 of you go to visit the Element Academy. Our Wuhuan Empire is willing to marry Wang Xiaofei from the Element Academy, and you can choose any person. A 24-year-old title Douluo is probably another Heotianzong Tang Chen. Everyone in the audience knew that the emperor probably wanted Hu Laina to marry Wang Xiaofei, which would be a win-win situation. As for the golden generation of the Wuhuan Empire, it seemed to have become a joke. Hu Laina, who had the highest soul power, was only a soul saint, and she was over 30 years old. In the Tiando Empire Palace, Emperor Xuebeng sat on the upper seat, Ning Fengji of the Seven Treasures Glazed sect and Jian Douluo stood on the left, and the empire's worshipper Dugubo, the national master Yu Shaojiang, the titan of the Power Clan, and the White Crane of the Agility Clan stood on the right. Below were a group of important officials of the empire. Everyone looked at Wang Xiaofei's news, and the whole place fell silent. Xuebeng said to the people below, "Master Ning, please give us a detailed introduction to the overall strength of the Element Academy based on the current investigation." Ning Fengji bowed and saluted. The Element Academy is composed of the former Blazing Fire Academy, Tianshui Academy, Shenfeng Academy, and the Pei clan and Yue clan. The academy is divided into the inner and outer courtyards. The inner courtyard mainly includes some direct disciples of the 5 major families and some elite students and teachers who joined after graduation. The inner courtyard students and teachers add up to more than 2,000 soul masters. In addition, there are more than 3,000 ordinary soul masters. There are currently 3 title Douluo, and it is estimated that there are more than 10 soul Douluo. Can we win over their students? The possibility of winning over the inner courtyard students of the Element Academy is very small. Their outer courtyard students usually have strict internal rules. Although there is no limit on the birth of students, there is no phenomenon of winning over and forming cliques among students. Students can come and go freely after graduation. Most of the students who graduated in recent years were won over by major sects, the Tiando Empire and the Wuhuan Empire, and a small number, elites, remained in the academy. Xuebing thought for a moment and said, "National Master, please lead the Titan clan leader and the White Crane clan leader to the Elemental Academy and do everything possible to win them over. Remember, at all costs." In addition, Princess Xueku will also go there on behalf of the royal family. Yu Xiaojiang, Titan and White Crane nodded. As for the matter of retrieving the national treasure, the vast sea universe cover, no one mentioned it anymore. So far, Wang Xiaofei's name has spread all over the world. The record of the youngest title Douluo, which was originally held by Haotian Douluo Tang Hao for nearly 25 years, has been broken by Wang Xiaofei, and the margin is far ahead. Tang Hao became a title Douluo at the age of 44, and Wang Xiaofei directly raised this record to 24 years old. This record seems to have become an unreachable peak. The original age limit for participating in the Soul Master competition was 25 years old, which means that Wang Xiaofei is still a student. It's so terrifying. At this time, Xiaofei, who was in the Elemental Academy, was a little entangled. Originally, Xiaofei planned to fuse the second soul core in the near future, but Yang Wudi had always wanted to study the process of Xiaofei fusing soul cores, but now he had to wait for Yang Wudi to retreat and refine medicine for a month. Moreover, Xiaofei felt that since he entered the title Douluo, the speed of soul power improvement seemed to have become slower. No wonder the original book said that the soul power gap between each level of title Douluo is very large, especially after level 95, it is very difficult to improve.